Well, hey, leaders. Hopefully, if you did not make it to leader training, you're watching this video. But I just wanted to kind of get you up to date, make sure you're set up for success this semester. And so I'm going to just walk you through the paper that I walked all the leaders through last Wednesday. And so I am going to link that actually in this email so you can follow along if you want. You're going to get kind of the condensed, shortened version of it so that this video isn't 45 minutes long. So first off, the things that I'm going to go through this side of the paper here, before D groups, and I've probably told all of you this many times, make sure you reach out to your students, make sure you know them and that you're keeping in touch with them. If they miss a Wednesday, hit them up, let them know that you missed them. That's really, really huge in this connection that you're making, is saying like, hey, I missed you and how are you doing? How is your life? So make sure you're reaching out to students as well as parents and guardians. Make sure that they're in the loop. We cannot do this by ourselves. We need them to partner with us. So make every effort you can to keep them, like I said, in the loop and let them know what's going on with their student and keep an open dialogue with them. The second point, before D groups, prepare your heart and your mind. Look over your curriculum as far as preparing your mind goes. Make sure you know where we're going. We're going to be finishing the book of Matthew this semester. And so read the chapter beforehand. Look at kind of what the questions are, what ones you are really, really excited about, which ones you want to omit. You don't need to spend 3 hours a week on it, but just kind of making sure that you know where we're going will help you a lot in your groups. And then as far as preparing your heart goes, we actually spent a lot of time on that at leader training this last week. And really my thing is make sure you're slowing yourself down and that you're taking time to practice gratitude. You're taking time to humble yourself, to worship God, to quiet yourself before the Lord. And I gave lots of other tools, and if that's something that you're interested in hearing more of, shoot me back an email. I'd love to send you over some stuff. But just even if it's in the car ride, prepare your heart and say like, God, I don't want to lead this group on my own. I want to do this out of overflow. And so allow him to fill you with his spirit. And that really is the most important step in being a good leader, is actually being led by the Holy Spirit. And so I'm just really prayerful about that for you guys this semester. And any way I can help you with that, I would love to. The next one is remember birthdays and special occasions. It seems kind of obvious, but it's really easy to forget. And so keep notes of things. If they tell you that something important is coming up, they have a big test or a big game, keep note of that even in your phone and ask them about it. They will be shocked and excited and feel so loved. I'm also going to start having birthday cards in the leader meeting room. So if you know it's your student's birthday, feel free to grab one of those, fill it out, and give it to them. You don't even have to spend any money. Just let them know that you actually are thinking about them and you remembered that. The next section is during D groups. Participate in the program, and I feel like I am a broken record on this a little bit, but it's just really important. We want you to be an example, but also we want you to engage with your students and know what's going on. And for some of you middle school leaders, maybe even high school, you're going to have to also do some babysitting a little bit and make sure that they're not distracting people around them. So we really need you, like, sit in high school. You don't have to sit with your group, but be around the students. And middle schoolers, if you have, or middle school leaders, if you have a group that you know can't quite handle sitting all scattered and they're going to be distracting, blame me and say, Brianne told me that you had to sit in the row with us. And sit with your students if you need to do that. If they're distracting during worship, we cannot, as a staff or from stage, it's very hard for us to manage that. And so we really need your help in that. And then one thing that I mentioned in the meeting that I'll tell you guys as far as it kind of has to deal with that, we will no longer be meeting in the gym at first for middle school and then moving to the sanctuary. Everyone will meet in the sanctuary from the very beginning. And one of the reasons we're able to do that is because we have these new chair covers. If you've been in the main auditorium, then you've probably seen them for like the ushers and things like that. But we have them, and they'll say Shepherd Youth on one side, and then your name will be on the other side. And that is where we ask that you sit, and then we ask that your group comes and finds you at the beginning, kind of make a first conversation, first touch for the night, and then kind of go from there with the night. Like I said, high school, they don't need to sit in that row with you, but middle school, if they need it, make sure they sit in that row with you that's designated with your name on it. The next one, during D groups, establish expectations. Make sure that you have a list of expectations and guidelines for your group. How are you going to handle cell phones? How are you going to handle who gets to talk? Think through all those things, and then let kids know those expectations. It's very hard to reinforce what you want in your group if you've never told them what you want in your group. And so make sure you think through that, and then you'll be able to actually reinforce and remind gently and kind of help set the tone for your group if you do that at the very beginning. Hey, here's what our group's going to look like. So make sure you do that. Keep control. That kind of goes back to establishing expectations. You reinforce those expectations, and be kind. They've been in school all day, being told what to do, and so be patient with them and understand that they're going to be a little rowdy, and that's okay. But make sure that it's always within your control, and keep the conversation flowing in the right direction. Sometimes the best conversations come out of them being energetic and hyper, and then you kind of guide that energy into a good conversation. And that's a little bit of an art, but learn that. Challenge yourself to learn the art of that. Utilize the curriculum. I didn't go over it too much in leader training, so if you need me to go over the curriculum with you, I would love to do that, but most of you are familiar with it, so I'm not really going to take time to do that. But utilize it. It's good stuff. I don't write it, so I can say it's good stuff. But it just really goes through the chapter and breaks it down well, and I hope that you're utilizing it. You don't have to stick directly to it, but it really does start good conversations. So kind of use it as your base and then go from there. And that kind of goes into the next one. Talk less and listen more. When you're doing this, it's not about you sticking to this and let me ask the next question and da-da-da-da-da and let me tell you what this answer is. The point of this is to start a good conversation and to really understand where the kids already are. Dusty told me this a while back, and it just really stuck with me. Don't tell the kids what to think. Find out what they're already thinking. That's so much more powerful. You're pacing with them, and you're actually walking alongside them and figuring out where they are and being a voice of truth and being a listening ear. And that's way more powerful than telling them what to think. So I really encourage you, lead your group like that. Let them kind of figure things out and let them be wrong sometimes, and keep asking good questions, and that will lead them to learn how to seek God for themselves and not just have a list of morals and answers that we've handed to them. And one is very powerful and the other one kind of sticks for a while and then it's gone. So I really encourage you, get kids talking, and bite your lips sometimes. I'm very bad at wanting to just interject all the time, but it really is powerful when you can let them come to their own conclusions and kind of guide the discussion. After D groups, report any red flag issues or questionable behavior. Red flag issue: emotional or physical abuse, self-harm, suicide, threats or bullying, anything else that seems red flag or even orange flag or yellow flag to you. Just report to us that night. Any staff members, when I say us, any Shepherd Youth staff member, come report that to us right away. We do not want you wearing the burden of those big issues. So make sure that you let us know. We will take care of it. There's a whole procedure here at Shepherd that we go through. So you don't need to wear the weight of that. We might come back and say, hey, can you make sure the parent knows? Or, hey, like, can you talk to the student, da-da-da-da-da. But we want to make sure that we're helping you guide that whole journey with them, and we don't want you to wear that on your own. And if it's not like something that alarms you, but you just want to let us know, don't hesitate to do that as well. Send me an email, fill out the form online, any of those things. Do that, because even if it's small, it's good for us to keep track of it, and it's good for us to know so that later on down the road, you have another voice behind you, you have someone who understands the situation. So don't ever hesitate to hit us up with something. The next thing, follow up with students and parents and guardians. If something does happen in your group, that isn't super red flag and something that we're going to handle, make sure you just keep parents informed. Follow up with students. If a student was having a really rough week and just you could tell they were sad about something, follow up with them about that. Pull them aside one-on-one after groups. Give them a call. Shoot their parents a text. Don't break the trust with the student, but figure out how to navigate that in a way where you get the person that's with them all the time, get them involved, because they can do so much for the situation that you probably don't have any power over. I know from my experience, like with schoolwork, they get all overwhelmed, but they never tell their parents, and their parents have no idea that they need a tutor, or they feel really stressed out, or they need to be going to bed earlier. They don't realize that. And I, as a D group leader, am able to then come in and equip these parents with information that helps them help their student. So, start that conversation. Encourage the student to start a conversation with their parents. That's the most powerful. Moving on to the D group schedule of the night. Hopefully you guys are familiar with this. If not, I'm just going to quickly breeze over it. 614 meeting in room 143. It's like beside the decision counseling room. I really, unless you just can't be here because you're coming straight from work or something, make this a priority. It allows us as a group to kind of like focus in and just calm our minds for a second. And also, I give you a lot of information there. I do ask, if you just cannot be there, please be like religious about reading your emails. I will send you an email every week, whether it's on Tuesday or Wednesday. Check that email before you come in and just see what we have, because there are always different things, and it will just make my life and your life a lot easier if you're informed at what's going on each night. 6:25, we'll all head into the sanctuary. Again, we're not going to go to the gym anymore. Everyone to the sanctuary, find your chair. Have your students come make a first interaction with you, and then, that's at 6:30. Have your students come make a first interaction with you. We'll open doors. We'll have program time as normal. We're changing a few things up, but nothing that is too crazy. And then we dismiss to overflow in groups at 7:15. And here's something new. You're going to start taking attendance. And that attendance will be on your phone, and we're going to send you a link when you are in your group that will direct you straight to the page where you'll do everything. You will need your Shepherd Church login. If you don't know what that is, on the Shepherd Church page, if you've ever given before, if you've ever went on a trip, if you've ever registered for an event, you should have like a username and password. Try to find your username and password. If you absolutely can't, create a new one and let me know that you created a new one, and we'll attach your group to that name. And then from there, at that link, once you've logged in, you will be able to view all of your students' information. So no more like rosters and all that. It's all going to be on your phone. So the student's number, their parents' information, it'll all be there. And then, and also don't share that information. That is obviously confidential information that you're getting because they're their leader. And then there's a tab on that page that says attendance. You are going to go in, make sure the date is correct, check the boxes of those who are there. There's even a section for notes, and you can write any notes that you want to kind of jot down and then submit. It'll save all of your weeks, and so that allows us to get rid of a lot of systems that we've had to do, and it'll help you keep track of what your group is, and you can actually track attendance and see who's been there and all that good stuff. So I can explain that in person to you a little more if you're confused. Totally fine. I will help you out. No problem. It's not that complicated, I promise. It's pretty easy. And then 8:30, you should be dismissing. Middle school, make sure that you stay with your students until a parent comes and picks them up from the gym. I know parents complain about that, but you need to reinforce that they're not allowed to walk out by themselves. They either need an older sibling that's in high school, or a parent guardian to come and get them from you. You need to see them leave. We will take them from you so that you're not stuck here super late if the parent is late, and as staff, we'll take care of them. High school, I just ask that you be respectful of the parents' time. Let them out at 8:30. I have been guilty of this, and I've had parents like looking for their student, and I'm like praying with them, and so just be respectful of that. And if you really need to talk to a student, have them call their parent or guardian and say, hey, is it okay if I talk to my leader for a little bit longer, or I pray with them? And usually the parent's cool, but respect their time. Moving on to the other side, I'm trying to get through this super fast. important links that you'll need to know that'll get you to information that you need. shepherdyouth.com/dgroups. I need you to have your students register for groups by tomorrow the 30th. If you are a returning leader, they are not guaranteed a spot back in your group if they do not register by tomorrow night. So I need you to make sure. And if you're watching this on Wednesday, tonight, so the 30th, they need to register, or they are not guaranteed a spot back in your group. So that's at shepherdyouth.com/dgroups if you want to have them get the link for that so that they can register. shepherdyouth.com/resources. I went over this with most of you, but there's a link to a form you can fill out if you're going to be absent, and I ask that you do that religiously. If you know you're going to be gone, fill that form out. I check it, and I will know. If you do fill it out the same day, like you get sick that same day, shoot me a text or an email, plus fill out the form. But if it's before Wednesday, all you have to do is fill out the form, and we will get it. No worries, we'll make sure that it's taken care of and that your group is all good to go. shepherdchurch.com/dgroups tool. That's where you're going to be taking attendance, like what I talked about earlier, but I will send you that link via text so that you can just click it directly on your phone and you don't have to even type it in. Like I said, remember your username and password. Please look that up as soon as you can if you don't know it, so that the first night of groups you're actually ready. Some important dates I'm going to jot. I've already jotted them down, but I'm going to go through them with you really quickly. Kickoff is obviously tomorrow, January 30th. Open house is the next Wednesday, February 6th. That's where you'll meet your students, and that's the first time we'll actually have groups. If you've never done that before, you're going to have your name on a table. Your students will come find you. You'll meet parents and students, and then we have group the rest of the night like normal. The high school retreat is coming up February 18th. If you are a high school leader and you want to do that, we would love to have you. The link is actually to register for that as a leader is at shepherdyouth.com/resources. So if you'd like to register, please do that. We're going to have fun. And also make sure your students come to that. It's just going to be a good time. I think it's going to be powerful. Lots of worship and teaching. Block parties March 20th. If you've never been a part of that, it's just they get to invite all their friends. No one has to be registered, and we have food and games, and it's just fun. And we share the gospel. So good outreach. Leaders' Choice Night is the last night of groups. That'll be May 15th. If you've never done that, we will explain that as it gets closer in the semester, but you get to go out with your students, and we give you an allotted amount of money, and you just get to make memories, have dinner with them, or go bowling, or see a movie. High school summer camp, I'm going to have linked at the resource page as well, shepherdyouth.com/resources resources. I think it's plural. Anyways, I'll have middle school and high school camp. If you'd like to be a leader there, I'll have those linked on the page. High school camp is June 10th through the 15th, and the middle school camp is June 28th through July 1st. I'm almost done. I'm trying to keep it under 20 minutes. I'm sorry if you've been watching this long. Lord bless your soul. Okay. You can come get a booklet from me. I'll have them tomorrow night in the leader meeting room, room 143. And then the calendar has all the dates on it. There's a couple that are a little different. I think there's only one date we're not meeting during the spring semester. So just keep that on you. I also will have all the information on that resource page. So feel free to check back there. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I think those are the main things. I'm going to get off of here. And again, feel free to reach out tomorrow night. It might be a little bit crazy because it's kickoff, but I'll try to make time to talk to you. Or you can shoot me an email back or text the D Groups thread and I'll get back to you. So hopefully this has been short and sweet enough for you. Thank you so much for leading. I'm just beyond grateful for the group that we have. God has literally just placed the people that need to be there, and I have the easiest job ever. I just get to see the fruit of all the people that he brings that are amazing. So I'm going to pray really quick over you guys that weren't at the meeting, and I'll see you tomorrow night. God, thank you so much for the leaders that you have brought, and I pray just a blessing over them, God, that you would just continue to strengthen them and grow them. God, that you would give them a peace, that you would help them lead out of overflow. God, that they would know your spirit, and that's what the kids would see. That's what the kids would grow from. And so, Lord, we thank you for what you're going to do this semester in advance. In your name we pray. Amen. Love you guys.